Did you know the characteristics of different plant parts, like their shape, color, and texture, can help us figure out what they are? Today, I have Dr. John Roberts, and he's a residential horticulture extension agent with the University of Florida IFAS Extension in Orange County. Welcome, Dr. John.
Cool. Thank you for having me here, Tia.
Yeah, so you are a plant expert and you brought a lot of samples of some different trees in for us today. So, if you're just getting beginner, with gardening and landscaping, you want to know what plants are in your landscape, how do you go about identifying these?
Well, we typically try and break it down into the very basic aspects of what is a plant. If you think about it, it's leaves, branches, flowers, or inflorescence in their stems, etc. So if you can find certain things that stand out with any of those features, that can help you big time in terms of narrowing down what you're looking at.
Okay, so look for a distinguishing feature of that plant.
Yeah, and so if you just we think of plants normally in terms of having leaves, but if you can find something that is very specific, like the flower or a fruit, that can help out big time.
Yeah, so these ones here have flowers, really white flowers. Those are easy to see. This one here has little plum fruits.
Yeah, exactly. And so that is our native plum right there. And so they're not quite mature yet, but if you know what that looks like, that's almost nothing else has that. And the flower over there, that's one of the only things that's flowering right now with that white color. So that's a Texas olive.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess a lot of times you don't necessarily have the fruit or the flowers to work with. You might just be left with the foliage. And then from there you have to go and look at the more specific aspects of what that foliage or the leaves look like.
Yeah, because leaves come in many shapes and sizes. So I know that's a pine tree there, but I know there's a lot of different kinds of pine trees. What would you look for?
So yeah, from there, if there's only 4 or 5 species of pine that are native to this area. So you can narrow it down by the length of the needles, and then how many needles you have within those fascicles there. Based on that, you can normally narrow it down to, the species level. So
yeah.
There's a slash pine here.
So first okay, it's a pine, and then you look at it more carefully to get the species of pine.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. What else do you have? So
there are other characteristics that you should definitely be looking for that can help you narrow it down, so to speak. We've got a magnolia here, and typically the ones that we use in the landscape anyway have this hair-like structures underneath. And so these are actually brown, and so this is our native magnolia, southern magnolia. And so that's something that sticks out. And then also, if you can find the fruit, that can help a lot as well. As you can see here, you've got the leaves. They alternate one from down the branch. They're not completely opposite to one another. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that I want to point out for for another sample that we've got coming up here.
Yeah, so the alternate leaves is one leaf on this side and then one leaf on this side.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and then we've got another type of magnolia here, but tell me what you notice about this one.
That one smells good. Yeah,
so this is a non-native one. I think it's Michellii or something, mm-hmm. like the magnolia, and it has it's another thing that can really stand out is that smell. So, and then if both of these are the simple and alternate plants, they only have one leaf, but sometimes you've got plants that instead of a leaf, they've got leaflets. Mm-hmm. And as you can see here, it's also opposite,
Yeah.
You can see that they go across from each other, and they originate from the same node. And the other thing that is very different than these magnolias that we just covered is that entire thing is the leaf. It's got leaflets, and we would call that a palmate shape. It's shaped like a palm. Mm-hmm. So that's something that is really distinct about this plant.
Oh.
And this is one that would have flowers typically throughout the year, like in the spring, but when you don't have those flowers to work with, you've got to work with just the leaves. So this is a pink tabebuia.
Oh, wow. This is so interesting, John. Like, we could talk about this all day. I love talking about plants too, but we're running a little short on time. So thanks so much for coming out today and telling us about Plant ID.
Cool. Well, thank you again for having me here, Tia.
Great. And now you know how characteristics of the plant can be used to identify what they are.